A firefighter fatally injured while helping with a charity event last year is remembered today. How a community is keeping Tony Grider's memory alive.
9/11 was an event that touched the lives of every American.
A somber day across the nation and here in the Bluegrass. We're hearing stories of remembrance tonight as people honor those who lost their lives in 9/11.
And a warning for KU customers tonight. What to watch out for in case someone calls you claiming you have not paid your bill yet.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
He's being remembered for his sacrifice. Today, a firefighter fatally injured during a charity challenge event last year was honored today in Taylor County.
Captain Tony Grider was hurt while helping with an ice bucket challenge at Campbellsville University last August. He died a month later. Now, Grider's name is on a memorial built in the name of a state trooper killed during a traffic stop. Our Phil Pendleton was at the ceremony and shows us how Grider was honored in our top story at 5:30.
Gina Grider's SUV is in some ways a traveling memorial to the husband and father that was lost nearly 1 year ago.
If you're married, you know that not only are you husband and wife, your best friend, you depend on each other.
Tony Grider was a family man, but to many of these, he was a firefighter, a first responder.
Tony didn't die in vain. He died doing what he enjoyed doing.
Grider was burned in August of last year during the charity challenge at Campbellsville University. He died on September 20th. Today, September 11th, he was honored on a day when thousands are remembered for their sacrifice in terrorist attacks 14 years ago.
Now, we chose today for this ceremony because today has special meaning, especially for folks in emergency services.
Grider's two boys unveiled the marker.
And especially with these boys, they helped a lot, and they really do miss him. One looks just like him.
Missing their father, a man that a community was thankful to have as a public servant. In Taylor County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Grider is the first firefighter to be honored at the memorial that was built in honor of Trooper Johnny Edrington. Edrington was a Campbellsville native who was killed during a traffic stop in Laurel County in 1988. No one has ever been arrested in that shooting.
We are tracking some showers and storms moving across the Bluegrass tonight, and with that wet weather comes some big changes for your weekend. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell has an early look at that cold forecast.
Cold, I mean, that's a true statement, because at night we'll likely see temperatures dip into the 40s. That is some pretty tough stuff to deal with. Right now, though, what we're dealing with is a few showers and even some thunderstorms that have developed. We've been tracking a little heavier area just to our northeast of Lexington. You can see impacting the folks there across Nicholas County and also into Robertson County as well. Right over Mount Olivet right now, as a matter of fact, some of that heavier rain and also the thunderstorm element coming to life with this one, as well as you see some of that lightning. Here in Fayette County, we are tracking another shower that is also crossing over into Bourbon County. Good little heavier area of rain, no lightning associated with this. And I'm also tracking this one on the Skycam, and you can see it off in the distance there with some of the rain, pretty good rain as a matter of fact, but no lightning showing up there either. Now, all of this rain is attached to a more sophisticated system that says, I'm going to bring you some chilly air this weekend as well. And we'll take a closer look at that chilly air coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Jim. New tonight, Kentuckians cleaning up from severe storms in July need to submit their applications soon. FEMA has closed its registration center in Rowan County this afternoon. They are still having centers open in Fleming County at the Extension Office in Flemingsburg and at the Breathitt County Library in Jackson. So far, FEMA has received 611 applications and has approved more than $4 million in individual assistance.
Family members will have to wait a little longer before they find out how long a man convicted of manslaughter will spend in prison. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Breathitt County. In August, Sean Harden accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to 4 counts of manslaughter. Last summer, police say Harden was driving drunk when his truck flipped off a road and hit a house. 4 people inside Harden's truck were killed. Harden was supposed to be sentenced today, but missing paperwork has pushed back that process. Family members of the victims say they just want the case to be over.
It's just hard, you know.
I don't know that it's ever going to get any easier. I'm very close to all three of my children. This has just been horrible.
Hardin did admit that he was drunk at the time of the crash. The plea deal comes with a recommended sentence of 13 years in prison. The judge set the continuation date for September 25th. In Bath County, state police are trying to figure out what caused a deadly crash overnight. The crash happened around US 60 near Hart Pike about midnight. Troopers say 59-year-old Dwayne Jones of Owingsville was driving west when his truck went off the road and flipped. Jones was thrown from the truck. He died at the scene. Troopers tell us he was not wearing a seat belt. And in Knox County, police are looking for an inmate who walked away from the jail. We're told 26-year-old Gary Sprinkles walked away from a work detail around 11 this morning. The deputy jailer says Sprinkles was with a crew of inmates who were clearing weeds along Kentucky 3453 near Barberville. Sprinkles stepped away from the work crew for just a moment and then disappeared. He was serving a 30-day sentence for theft of electrical services.
Across this country today, people gathered to remember one of the darkest days in American history. In Madison County, Eastern Kentucky University held a ceremony to remember the heroes of 9/11. Our Hillary Thornton tells us how students and staff there honored those who lost their lives in a story that's new at 5:30.
9/11 was an event that touched the lives of every American.
Dozens gathered at Eastern Kentucky University, known for preparing and training first responders, to remember those lost 14 years ago today.
Lives that were lost there that day included the lives of many first responders and many who continue to lose their lives as a result of the after effects of 9/11. So our first responder community embraces the community, the brotherhood, the sisterhood of first responders.
The ceremonial events at EKU also put on to help students understand that day, as many were too young to fully grasp what was going on.
Really important time for the community to come together, and it did. It did. It was a day that if anyone was questioning their faith in humanity, it was a day that humanity rose above the ashes of that terrorist attack.
That is a message EKU's Vice President for Student Success, Laurie Carter, shares not only as a story out of history books, but as a first-hand experience, working at a school in the Lincoln Center at the time the towers were hit.
Sorry, because it's so real for me. When I heard there was a train going out, I had to get on that train because I just needed to hug my child.
Using her story to help honor those lost and those who continue to serve, while helping others understand while knocked down, America still stood tall.
It was really something out of a scene of a movie because there were no lights, there were no cars, but there were American flags everywhere.
In Richmond, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
EKU also held a memorial stair climb and blood drive in remembrance of 9/11. Students at Asbury University in Jessamine County also got together to remember those who lost their lives on 9/11. Officials with the university sent us these pictures this afternoon. 2,977 flags were put on display on campus as a tribute to the victims.
The tributes on 9/11 also come from those who were not even born 14 years ago. This morning, fifth graders from Athens Childsburg Elementary, also known as ACE, raised the Stars and Stripes to half staff. Students also read their own essays about that fateful day and how it made them feel. One student we spoke with says even though she wasn't born yet, she still cares because it affected America.
It was just a sad day, and that a lot of people just were really, really sad and confused, and they thought it was an accident at first, but it really wasn't.
The students also laid roses at the foot of the flagpole in honor of those who died.
If you get a call that your KU and LG&E bill needs to be paid over the phone, it is probably a scam. Recently, someone has called utility customers claiming to work for KU. They asked for immediate bill payment by credit card or prepaid money card. And here's the alarming part of this. The caller may be using technology to make the incoming phone number appear to be from the utility.
It's widespread enough that we've had customers that have been contacted in Louisville, Lexington, and Richmond. So it seems they're pinpointing those three areas, and They may, when they find they're not having success in those 3 areas, go to somewhere else.
Also, if the customer won't agree to pay the bill, the caller threatens to disconnect the customer's electric or natural gas service. Don't believe them, hang up. KU says they do not call customers and ask for credit card information over the phone.